Welcome, here I've got Samsung Galaxy S10 Lite and I'm gonna show you how to use the camera Pro mode at this device. So at first we have to tap on the camera button to open it, and for now we are in the standard photo mode. Let's change it by using this settings bar and just simply going to the right to more. Here we have access to other modes of this camera, and one of this is the Pro, so let's pick it. Here we are. This mode gives us possibilities to choose some shooting parameters by ourselves. This is useful when we want to learn photographic skills or making experiments with photography. So let me start with this settings bar. Let's go from the right. The first one button with standard gives us access to a few other buttons. So now from the left we have the contrast, and by using this slider we can make our picture more or less contrasted, as you can see. Another button here allows us to manage the highlights, so the part of our picture that are highlighted. As you can see, we can make them less highlighted or more. And when we tap to the next one button, we get access to shadows. So we can also make them make the part of our pictures with more shadow or less shadow. The next one option here is the saturation of our colors, so we can make them more saturated or less and go to kind of black and white picture. And another thing here is the tint, so kind of balance between the pink and the green light. By going to the right on the slider with the settings, we can make our photo more pink. By going to the left, we can make it more green. At the center of all of these settings, of course, we have 0 parameters, so there's no problem to go back to auto settings with that, but all of them together allow us to create kind of filter, our own filter, so you can use this as you need. And I think this is really pro because in standard cameras we can adjust the settings after we take the picture, not before, and here we have this before, so this is really cool. Now let's move back to this kind of view and to the white balance button. Here we can manage the temperature of our picture in Kelvin degrees. So by going to the left on the slider, we can make our photo more blue, more cold. By going to the right, we can make it more orange, more warm, so this is kind of balance between the cold and warm tones of our picture. Here we can of course easily go back to auto white balance by tapping on this manual button from the right. Now we are again on auto settings with that. And let's move to the next one option, the focusing. Here we are on autofocus AF, as you can see. By using this slider we can change it to MF from manual focus, and we can adjust it like that, as you can see. And when we do it correctly, when we tap on this slider a little bit longer, we can see these green signs that shows us the areas of our focusing correctly adjusted, so this is really cool. And of course we can go back to autofocus by tapping again on manual button here from the right. Let's move to the next one option. Here we have exposure compensation, so we can manage the light of our picture. By going to the right, we can make it more bright. By going to the left, we can make it more dark. And at the center, we have 0 parameters, so we can, of course, easily go back to auto settings. And let's go to the next one option. Here we have the shutter speed, so we can manage the time of taking picture. By going to the left on the slider, we can make it shorter. The shortest here is 1/6000 of seconds, so this should be definitely better to objects. As you can see, we have a good light that are in move, for example, to frozen them at the picture. By going to the right, we can make our time much longer. The longest here is 10 seconds, and of course we can easily go back to auto shutter speed by tapping again on manual button from the right. Let's move to the next one option, the ISO. Here we can control camera sensitivity to light. By using the slider we can make it less sensitive from 50. By going to the right, more sensitive to 1/6000. So I think the spectrum is enough to this kind of camera. Of course, to go back to auto ISO, we have to tap to manual button once again. And I want to show you now one extra thing here. when we adjust ISO and the shutter speed together, we can also manage the light of our picture, as you can see. So we don't need this button with exposure compensation. So as you can see now, it is locked. And if you want to unlock this, you have to be on shutter speed on auto settings, as you can see. And also here we have one extra tip. When we adjust all of these settings manually and want to go back to the auto, we don't have to separately goes back in each of the settings to auto. We can just slide the settings bar kind of to the left, and here we have the reset button. So when we tap here, all of this goes back to the auto and we can start using this from the beginning. So this is really useful also. Now let's move to the right corner. When we pick this button in the promote, we can also change the metering. Now we are on center weighted. We can pick matrix and also the spot one. So let's stay here, and now let me use all of the settings to take the picture. So let's start with standard and make my photo more contrasted, maybe more highlighted, and with more shadows, maybe more saturated also, and kind of pink. Now let's move back here to the white balance and give it a cold tone. The focusing, let's stay on the auto. And now let me use the shutter speed here and the ISO maybe here. And to see my picture, let's move to the left to the button that follows us straight to the gallery. So this is how it looks like. I suggest you to making experiments with all of these settings and just have a good fun. Thanks for watching, subscribe our channel and leave the thumbs up.